All right. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Happy Wednesday. 3, 2, and 1. We are live. Good morning, wonderful people. Beautiful tribe, family, friends and family. Just thank you guys so much for being here each week. I really do appreciate that you're taking on your lives, that you're sharing this information, that you're helping with this mission of helping to get the word out for people who feel like they're struggling with negative thoughts and negative emotions, feeling like they're struggling with conflict and communications. Instead, helping them to see what they can do, helping them to see what skills they can get, helping them to see what limiting beliefs are blocking them, what negative thinking and negative emotions, how they're in control of it and what it actually really means, how emotions are all good, how they're guiding them, how their negative thinking is actually letting them know some things, and then how to reframe and shift it and change their lives. Anything going on in here, I help to get that decluttered, cleared out, organized, and shifted. So that way you're creating the results you want in your personal life as well as in your professional life, whether you're an individual, a couple, or a small business, especially small family businesses. There's so many different dynamics that come up that we just haven't learned, or we learned it in a way that is not the most effective. Or we might be dealing with another person who they just handle everything in a totally different way and we don't know how to line up. And so that's what I do here. So my name is Tammy Workman-Lopez. My company is Sparks Hope. You can always find me at sparkshope.live. Sparkshope.life, or Coach TammyStar on any of my social medias. Questions are great because I'm here every Wednesday answering those questions and doing, like you're seeing here today, different topics to help to address them. So today we're actually going to be going over some of those questions because I've been hearing a lot of people talking about it's the end of the year. Oh my gosh, it's October already. You know, it's just the holidays and then it's over. And so it's actually important for us to take a deep breath. And yes, it is October already. And there's still time. There's still things that we can do. But if we get overwhelmed in our thinking and just kind of shut down to, oh my gosh, it's just going to be so busy and there's just too much and I can't even breathe. And then we just, might as well just be next year already. We got to help ourselves release and notice those negative thoughts. They're there to tell us stuff. They're there to tell us, hey, relax, get organized. Let's see what we can do through the end of the year. They're there to help us to see how it is we can prioritize and what's our expectation of ourselves. Oftentimes our expectation is way too big. We're expecting ourselves to do a whole year's worth of work in a few months. And so we get to take a look at, okay, where am I? How have I made the changes I wanted to so far? And where do I get to go moving into these next few months? As well as there's other stuff coming up, right? The holidays, how do I work with that? What if it's going to bring up emotional loss? Or what if it's going to bring up conflict or, those kinds of things? Where is there different things going on that I need to manage my calendar better, be able to say no to either others or myself, being able to take a look at how much am I taking on, my expectations, all the things that I just mentioned to you. We're going to kind of break those down a little bit. I always have liked the idea of when you go somewhere, you get answers, not just like, hey, here's some gist of information. Now come work with me to get it. No, I'm going to give you the information to help you to continue to grow and actually start practicing this stuff now. But as you know, you can't teach everybody everything in one session, right? And so I'm here with you guys, giving you as much as I can, as much value, because I want you to implement this stuff. I don't want you to have to come work with me just to do it. But if this feels good to you, and if it feels like, yes, this is going to help me and I want to dive deeper into this, then definitely come work with me. Come learn these tools on a deeper level so you're practicing them through the rest of your life and you're able to be a different person to your folks around you. You're able to be a different person with your company. You're able to be a different person within yourself, accomplishing the self-love and self-acceptance and clarity and the goals that you want in your life and in your business. Whether it's with your mindset, whether it's with emotions, whether it's your soul, whether it's your spirit, we'll be able to take a look at every one of those areas. And the idea is you have the answers, and I'm just going to help you reach them. You have different things going on in your subconscious mind. I'm going to teach you how you're using it, and then teach you how to use it in a more effective way. It's not that I'm, these are magic tools. They're just tools that I've learned along the way, and I've had to implement them into my life too. So this isn't just book work. This is lifetime work. Oh boy, I'm 47. I'm 46. And I've been practicing these things consistently as I've learned them over my whole life from the age of 17. I've just been consistently learning. And so here we go. So the very first thing I want to share with you, we were talking about being able to take a look at what are some actionable ways that you can manage your overwhelm, learning how to prioritize and prioritize those priorities, and then allowing yourself to be able to say no without feeling guilty, not just to others, but also to yourself. And then there's the idea of being able to take a look at doing that. So breaking that down into smaller chunks. So a really great way to not get overwhelmed with all this is reflect on what your goals were for 2023. Instead of waiting to the end of the year to create New Year's resolutions, start them now. What do I want this end of the year to look like? And anything that I haven't been able to fully accomplish this year shifts over into next year. So it's this continued growth. It's the continued steps versus I'm going to take on everything in January and then drop it all in February and it'll be too much. Just see what they are, begin to prioritize and see how you can track it over 2024. Crazy, right? 2024. The other thing we're going to take a look at is there's going to be different things coming up. There's going to be holidays. There's going to be birthdays. There's going to be the end of the year. Then there is going to be January, right? So that stuff is coming. So taking a look at that. It's also important to be really mindful of where's your mindset? Where's your resilience? How are you taking care of yourself? Those are some details we're going to get into. And then I want you to understand that you are practicing your mind programming every single day. And so whether you call it self-hypnosis, or whether you call it meditation, whether you call it goal focus, whatever it is that you call it, as you meditate on that particular thing that you want, you are practicing self-hypnosis in doing so. So whether you're practicing it like I want this, like I want more money and I don't want to live in not enough, or I want more money and I want to raise my prices, but I don't want whatever. So the I don't wants will block you. So instead, the goal will be to focus on what it is you do want, and then see if there's anything in the way of that. So it's a totally different focus, and it keeps you off of the I don't want. Because if I don't want something is over here, and I do want something is over here, guess what direction you're going to go in if you're focusing on what I don't want. So really become aware of that. You can use the I don't want to help guide you to, well, okay, if I don't want that, then what do I want? That's great. Use it. Those are tools to help you. We don't have to get rid of them. Don't have to make yourself bad or wrong because you have them. We've got our mind to think these things through for a reason. Okay. So the idea, as we're taking a look at these things, giving yourself this experience when you're setting your goals, you want to stay encouraged. That's number one. Taking a look at these going, oh, I didn't do what I said I was going to do, and getting really hard on yourself. Take a look at the goals that you've had and acknowledge what you've done. And also acknowledge too, sometimes we'll say that we need to do a task and it ends up really to be a project, meaning it's multiple tasks in there. So you may also just have the expectation kind of skewed and incorrect. So you can take a look and go, oh, I expected myself to do all that, but I didn't plan for this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this. And those were also part of this year. Some of them you can plan for, and some of them you just can't. So knowing that there's the expected, and then there's the unexpected. And so being able to realize maybe you didn't plan for those things, and then you could give yourself some room. So giving yourself grace. Now, you probably have heard of this, but there's the SMART goals, right? So take a look, are your goals specific enough? Were they specific enough for you to know what action steps to take? Maybe not. Maybe you need support in helping yourself to get more specific. Were they measurable? Were you able to track how you were doing each week, each month throughout the year? If not, that gets you off track as well, because you're not able to see your progress. It's like, I lose motivation because I don't even know where I am. I've kind of lost track. I've gotten overwhelmed. That leads to attainable. If they're not attainable, we'll get overwhelmed. Now, also, if we, for instance, I have so many different things. I struggle with ADHD, which those of you who understand it can relate. Those of you who don't are like, what? I don't get that. Why can't you just say you're going to do it and do it? It's keeping the mind focused is very difficult. It's like dealing with a little child who needs to go all over and touch everything. You just keep sitting them back down, sitting them back down, sitting them back down, teaching them to be still, and that's how it works. And that's a lot of work. I also deal with anxiety, right? And I need to reshift whatever. Sometimes it's just my body feeling anxious. There's nothing wrong. Everything's fine. So I just have to calm my body. I have to let myself know everything's okay, right? So there may be some of that stuff coming up for you as well. You may also have kids. You may also have pets. You may also have somebody you're taking care of. There may be all these various distractors going on that you're not taking into account. And so what you're making yourself decide is attainable may not be. So you've got to also put into alignment everything, whether you like it or not, right? You might be like, well, I don't like, working from home and I can't focus. Well, that's going to be part of it if you have a small child who can't pay attention to when you say this amount of time. If they're a little bit older, then that's about setting boundaries. And I help work on that too, if that's something that is making it difficult to make your goals attainable, right? And then realistic. So realistic kind of goes to that part that I was sharing with you. If you're telling yourself, I could do all of this in a day, plus you've got all these other things that you're not taking into account. I've worked with clients before where they have their work calendar and then they have their to-do list and they expect themselves to get it all done. And then we take a look at their work calendar, which is almost totally full. That's not realistic. It's also not attainable. There's not enough time in the day. It's also not realistic to expect that you're going to be able to get all these things done when you already have this. Where can you fit that in? So it may be only a couple things that can get on there. And so the mind then goes, oh, and it could be just that simple, right? Just that simple. Sometimes it's more about getting it out of your head and on paper or into your calendar. It's just different depending on what your needs are. So that helps to make it relevant, right? Then time specific. It's important to give yourself deadlines. It's important to give yourself realistic deadlines. So you notice how all of these go together. That's why it's smart. It all comes together. So taking a look at what are the deadlines, and do you have some procrastination going on? Do you have some negative thinking going on? Do you have some limiting beliefs going on that push you through and have you wasting time? Or push you through and just have you feeling overwhelmed and anxious so your mind can't think? It's more of a brain fog. Those are some other things that need to get handled. And so taking a look at things with that smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, relevant, and time specific. As you're looking at it like that, it'll help you to see where you might be stuck, why you might take a look and go, there's some stuff that's needed for me to be able to finish doing what I need to do for this year or even into next year. And if I don't do those things, I'm not going to get where I want to get to, right? So that helps you to kind of take a look at how you can set goals, how you can overcome some of those obstacles, and how you're taking a look at where you are succeeding, how you're taking a look at how you are getting that organized, how you can see how you are prioritizing your priorities, right? Sweet, cool beans, right? Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some of my points I wrote down for the holidays. It's important, and this isn't just the holidays coming, it's all of them. So birthdays, right? Different designated holidays, but also some of those other smaller holidays that you might not think about. And you might have to take, like for me, I take the time off because my husband has those. I work from home, so I don't have any days off. If I want to keep working, I can. So you may have to match your schedule to someone else. You may have to match your schedule to your kids, whether they have a Meet the Teachers Day or whether they have a, teacher's work day, or if they have an activity or if they have sports or all these things. being able to plan that into your schedule as well. And if it looks like your schedule is busting out, then that's where you get to take a look. Is there anything that I can do to calm this down, right? Calm down, calm down. Got me thinking of that song. If your schedule has got too much and is humanly impossible, then what do you think that's going to do to your nervous system? What do you think that's going to do to how you're feeling about things? Oh, that's supposed to have me remind you, you are also invited to Clubhouse after this. So if you're on Clubhouse, jump on Mindset Reset with myself and Miss Miriam. And then if not, let me know and I'll send you the link to it. That also helps you to continue to have resources. So that takes me to the next piece. Get your resources. If these things are coming up for you and they're consistently happening, call me. Call. If you need to get support, you can work with your pastor. You can work with a therapist. You can work with a counselor. You can work with a mastermind, depending on what your needs are, right? So make sure you get the support and help that you need. So I do work with folks that are dealing with anxieties and dealing with stressors and dealing with wanting to change their body, whether it's weight loss, weight gain, whether they're wanting to grow more confidence, or build up their stamina or move away from procrastination. Anything that's going on where you feel like, oh, this is still a problem. I don't want to keep this going on, or I'm bringing my past with me and I don't want to do that, or I'm always worried about the future, or there's conflicts going on. What I do is I help people where there's limiting beliefs in their thinking. Those limiting beliefs are causing negative emotions, although you may not notice what the limiting belief is, you may just notice the negative emotion. And it's causing you to react and respond in a way you don't like. Or you may have somebody in your life who's doing that. And so either I'm helping you with you, or I'm helping you to work in a way that you're able to work with that other person in a different way. So those are just some examples of things. So one of the things that you can do, this is really helpful, getting everything out of your head. Any negative thought, write it down. Any negative emotion, write it down. And then you can ask yourself, what is this here for? What is this telling me? And then that's the other side of that list. You can also allow yourself to take a look at what are, like this is one list. The second list, what are the stressors in your life? Write down those stressors. And then you take a look at, what do I need to eliminate that stress or lower that stress? And that's what you do on that side. Getting it out of your head is essential. We think that our head does this, brings all your thoughts and just plops them here, and that's how you're doing it. But you have your conscious, which holds your front information. You have your subconscious, which holds all the rest of your information, all your file cabinets, all your years of information. What happens is you bring it up out of the file cabinet, you bring it to the front like a computer, you're accessing the data, you're bringing it up front. How many windows can you have open? A lot, but eventually the computer will crash. Same here. Eventually you're going to start to get a headache. Eventually you're going to start to forget stuff. Eventually you're going to feel like your brain is foggy, or now all of a sudden you're not paying attention and you're easily distracted because you're kind of daydreaming, or you're getting focused over here because your brain's just done. It needs to like stop, because it's coming up from the subconscious mind to the conscious. And once it gets filled, and there's various numbers, they say from 7 to 9, from 7 to 9, or from 70 to 90, but either way, that's not much. You might think that's a lot, but if you think one thing, oftentimes there's 10 more things tied to that one thing. So if you think about the groceries, now you're thinking of all the groceries that you need, or what you're going to have for dinner, and all of the things and the recipes and the pots that you need, and the time that you got to do it, and what the family's going to think, and all that, right? That's 40 things right there. So we think that it's just a thought. There it is, that's it. But we're bringing it forward. It's an action and a process that the mind is doing. So you're using energy to do that. And now once you bring up more and it's too much, then the rest goes back round and round and round, and you're looping. And you might even feel like you're looping, because that's exactly what you're doing. And it's like, oh, I'm so tired of thinking of this. My brain hurts already, and I haven't even gotten out of bed yet. And I laugh, but how many times is that true for you? How many times are you like at a certain time of the morning at like 10 and you're just like, I'm done. because all of that's going on. The mind is getting overworked, and the energy that you have, it's being spent into this instead of being clear and focused and calm. And if it's out here on these lists for you, you can look at them instead of looping it. So those are just a couple of like hands-on tools that you can practice that really help. And when I'm working with my clients, I help them to do that, right? Like it sounds easy, but when you go to do it, it's like, ah, how do I do this? I've been practicing this with clients for years. I've been practicing it myself for years. And so it really helps to be able to have somebody walk you through to help you understand what the heck is she talking about? I'm not just giving you advice. I'm helping you to see exactly how you can do it. So take me up on it. It gives you the area to be able to take this stuff out of your head, bring in the new things. Like if you want to create a better communication, if you want to create a better way to prioritize, if you want to create different connections, if you want to create being able to set boundaries, if you want to create stepping into your business in a different way, take on things that are limiting you, right? And those are just a few things. These are ways to help you to do that. All right, you guys, I know that's a lot of information, but I want you to know you can totally do it. And I also want you to know, as a hypno coach, I'm able to help you to do those things both on conscious and subconscious level. And as we're doing the work, I explained to you, you are practicing hypnosis, meditation, prayer is hypnosis, by the way, because you're taking in prayer and you are deciding and believing this is going to help me. That's all hypnosis is. Programming your body and your brain to obey you and listening and practicing. But if you have these thoughts and then you have doubts, those doubts block everything. So we got to get that stuff out of your way. You don't need that there. You get to have your goals, your dreams, your motivation, the way you want to have it. Sound good? All right, so I hope this has supported you. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know if you're like, oh, that really worked, or no, that doesn't really work. Let me know if you're like, I hear what you're saying there, but I don't know how to do that. So give me a little bit more insight. Whatever your questions are, there are no stupid questions, right? Only the questions we don't ask is what leaves us feeling stupid. So make sure you ask those questions. Oh, hey there, Cami. Good to see you. Thanks for joining, darling. And Maria, thank you so much for your likes. I really appreciate you guys. And you are so very brave as you take this on. And I want you to know I'm going to be traveling this week and next week to Austin, Texas. My husband and I are going to be getting a stem cell. And so I will be able to let you know what that's like on, let's see, on the 18th, I'll be able to let you know. So in 2 weeks from today, I'll give you that information if you ask me about it. If you don't ask me about it, then that means you probably don't want to hear it. All right, darling, bring it in. Big squishy hugs. You take care of you. And know that you're loved, whether you like it or not. All right, guys. Ciao for now. Bye.